Hello and welcome back to Let's Watch Gary Butterfield Watch Out for Fireballs Bonfireside Chat. Blind Let's Play Alan Wake.
Among Alice's things was a book, The Creator's Dilemma, by a Dr. Emil Hartman. Seeing the book brought back my fight with Alice. I didn't like it, and I didn't like the guy's smug face on the cover either.
Neither do I. Not concerned about that human foot, eh, Alan Wake? Yeah, so as in last time we went out, the old lady from Poltergeist more or less tricked us into going to the wrong cabin. And we got into a fight with her wife because we're a huge dickhead. Sorry, I'm moving this around. That's got to be infuriating, but I'm just moving my mouse pad around. She got swallowed up by the darkness.
The gas station was my best bet. They'd have a phone I could use. It looked like a long hike through the forest to get there.
And we are undoubtedly having another dream. This is definitely a dream sequence of some kind. I have my flashlight out, though, which is kind of surprising to me.
Damn.
I'll never forget you, car! Oh. Why wouldn't that work? I guess I don't actually have a revolver because that was a dream revolver.
Hello?
This looks familiar. I should point out that, like, I'm making fun of this game, but I actually am enjoying it so far. Like, that's genuinely spooky.
Hello? Is someone there?
The loose sheets of paper were pages from a manuscript entitled Departure. That was the name I planned to use for the next novel I had never gotten started. I was named the author. I hadn't written it. I couldn't remember writing it. In the scene on the page, the hero was attacked by an axe murderer in the woods at night.
Let's see what's going on with this manuscript page.
The man turned to face me. His face was covered in shadows. It was hard to make him out in the darkness of the forest that surrounded us, but the axe he lifted was plain to see. It glistened with the blood of his victim. He grinned madly. The shadows were alive, distorting his features. It was a scene from a nightmare, but I was awake.
Alright. So far, like I said, we have some pretty cool metafictional kind of things going on here. Let's continue on, shall we?
Anybody there? Please, I've been in an accident.
I've been in an accident. Yay! Alan, I bet you can't jump 3 feet in the air. Oh, yeah. Yay! Sorry. Yeah, I thought shift was the button to,
The lights up ahead were a good sign. Maybe I wouldn't have to hike all the way down to the gas station to find a phone.
to do the dodge. That's what I was trying to do. Was my little dodge, but it's not space. Well, the tooltips will tell me after I get axe murdered 1,000 times. Of course I'm not going to walk up a log. I'll walk up the log.
Anybody there? Please, I've been in an accident.
Something sinister about logging at night.
Hey! Hey, you!
Phil!
There's been an accident. I need help. Listen,
Deposit.
I need to...
Premium cabins for rent in
Oh, hell.
Coral Stucky. Pleased to meet you. Non-refundable reservation deposit required. Fair and square.
Take a moment to read.
The Taken stood before me. It was impossible to focus on it, as if it stood in a blind spot caused by a brain tumor and eye disease. It was bleeding shadows like ink underwater, like a cloud of blood from a shark bite. I was terrified. I squeezed the flashlight like my life depended on it, willing it to stop coming any closer. Suddenly something gave, and the light seemed to shine brighter. I had to figure a way out of this. Any second now, and Stucky would be knocking on the door with his axe like Nicholson in The Shining.
During your trying, it's the latest thing. Incontestably proven health let you
Yes!
one
Bright Falls Sheriff Station. How may I?
Hello?
Hello? Cholesterol levels down.
This is bad.
That's pretty awesome.
There were more of them. My head pounded with a concussion. I'd never fired a gun outside a shooting range, and now I just killed someone. Or something. There were no bodies. They just disappeared. If I was dreaming, it felt real enough to make me sick. The dark forest was the last place I wanted to go, but I had no choice. I had to get to the gas station.
Do I need this truck to back up? Oh, never mind. I turned off the power by kicking it.
It's rabbit season.
Shit. I was not expecting him to throw an axe at me, clearly.
The Taken stood before me. It was impossible to focus on it, as if it stood in a blind spot caused by a brain tumor and eye disease. It was bleeding shadows like ink underwater, like a cloud of blood from a shark bite. I was terrified. I squeezed the flashlight like my life depended on it, willing it to stop coming any closer. Suddenly something gave, and the light seemed to shine brighter. The Taken stood before me. It was impossible
Okay.
to focus.
Am I getting these out of order?
The man turned to face me. His face was covered in shadows. It was hard to make him out in
Huh. Oh, here we go.
Rose knew she had been gushing, but right now, she didn't care. As far as she was concerned, her brief meeting with Alan Wake was literally the high point of her life. She watched as he got in the car with his wife. She was pretty, confident, at ease with Wake. Not like Rose. They were perfect for each other. She'd have given anything to be called their friend.
Anything? I think Alan Wake's wife is a little creepy looking myself. Don't sweat it, Rose. Whee! Ah.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, I knew it couldn't just be murderers this whole time. Murderers aren't quite scary enough.
When I saw the river below, something uncoiled itself inside my head. I realized that I'd have to find a way across. I didn't even want to look at the water. Barry Wheeler was bouncing off the walls. He jumped on a plane after his calls were ignored by both Al and Alice for several days. It could mean that they were both on a second honeymoon, but Barry didn't buy it. Al had been way too unstable for that, not sleeping, messed up. Barry had years of experience dealing with Alan Wake, and he couldn't ignore it. Something was wrong.
I wish I could resume game with one button.
Stucky was still out there, in the dark, stalking me.
I can't shoot that out of the air with that. That's nice and creepy looking. Whenever a game tells me to go in a direction, I always go in the opposite direction just because I want to see what I'm potentially missing.
The staircase was broken. I had to make my way up some other way.
The ladder that's right in front of me, clearly, but if I hadn't gone this way, I would have missed this emergency thing. And, you know, maybe more manuscript pages or story line things.
There was no power. There was bound to be a generator somewhere at the logging site.
Or maybe not. Maybe that wasn't the right way to go. Get that coffee, Alan. That's clearly a generator, right?
With all this forestry equipment around, there had to be something I could use to reach the top. I heard them before I saw them, swooping down from the sky and screeching as they came. I spun around just as the cloud was upon me. For an instant, I stared into 100 dead eyes, black pearls glittering in the darkness. I raised the flashlight and the swarm exploded like fireworks. Feathers burned, turned into ash. I couldn't hear my scream above theirs.
Interesting. So we are going to do a traditional upgrade path here.
I was just outside for a breath of fresh air, and what a night. I know most of you are probably in your beds by now, but if you're still up and around, take a moment. Step outside for a spell and breathe in deep. The weather's absolutely still. The sky is crystal clear. It's like the forest is quietly breathing along with you. As you listeners know, I'm a night owl, and it's on nights like this I wish I wasn't cooped up in the studio. Makes an old man like me wish I could just roam wild. But here I am, and it would keep you company all night long if I weren't. It looks like I'm not the only one staying up late. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Pat, it's Maurice Horton.
Hello, Maurice. What are you up to?
Well, I was just taking Toby on his walkies.
Oh, isn't it beautiful out there?
Sure, but Pat, the reason I called is that Toby heard something rustling in the undergrowth and took off after it, and I couldn't find him.
Probably a rabbit.
Sure. Toby loves rabbits.
Well, sure.
Anyway, I figured that, if anyone runs into Toby, they could grab him. My number's on his collar.
And Toby's a friendly dog?
Oh, Toby loves people. Usually he comes back, but we were pretty far from home, and it sounds like he went pretty wild there. Great dog, but he's just too dumb for his own good.
Well, Maurice, it's out there now. Hope Toby comes home soon.
Yeah, thanks, Pat.
You have a good night now.
Toby was definitely murdered. That man's dead. Dog is super dead. There's never been a more dead dog than that dog. His elder sign.
At first, I kept finding the pages as if by accident. The book I couldn't remember was either a terrible and true prophecy or an act of creation that had rewritten the world. I began to hunt the pages feverishly, for they held the answer to the mystery. With it, I could save myself. With it, I could save Alice.
Trying to keep these videos around 20 minutes long, so I'm kind of waiting.
The
for
gas station was closer now, its light welcoming in the darkness.
Paul makes the best dogs in the state. Belly Burster is the best with no crutch. Monster Dog is second best. The famous dog is...
That was intense. What would happen if I wonder if I could have done that. I feel like probably not, but yeah. I'm very low on shotgun shells. Let's switch to this. Are they just protecting this coffee? Hey guys, I figured it out. Oh God. You change batteries in a flashlight faster in this game than anyone ever could. Alright, this little bit of light here is probably a good place to call it for this episode. It's running just a little bit long. Or I mean, they're short episodes, that's what I'm going for. So I'm going to record the next one right away. But I wanted to say thanks for watching, and praise the sun. And I'll see you next time on the wakeful adventures of Alan McShootlight.